Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming back and checking out my class council series. Today I'm going to be talking about my third video. So if you stay tuned, you will see my third video called The Peace Path. All right, everyone, I am here and I'm sharing with you for this third one what I do usually for my third meeting and something the kids use throughout. We're going to be looking at my peace path, which I have here right there in Antarctica, so the kids can use it ongoing whenever they're having problems or conflicts with their classmates. So I'm going to be talking about what the peace path is. I'm going to be talking about how to use it and how I implement the lesson. So first of all, let's talk about what the peace path is. So the peace path is a path and steps that students will walk on while they're talking with each other so that they can solve their own conflicts without their teacher trying there or adult there resolving their issues. So they get to ask each other questions, they get to actively listening to each other and repeat so they understand what's happening. And whenever they have a conflict with another student or a group of students, they get to come back here to Antarctica, sit down, and then the peace path reminder is right there. So then this way they can go through it. So I'm now going to share with you how I implement this. I'm going to show you the bigger peace path I use that I implement when I'm doing my third lesson. So when you see this, you're going to hear my voice. So here we go. Okay. What you're looking at right now is my big peace path. When I'm on my third meeting, what I do is introduce the peace path with this big one that I have here. So this way the students can learn how to walk the peace path together. What I do is I go over each of the steps where I have two students volunteer and they see each of the steps that are here. And I have the students, like as person A, stand on the steps for person A, and then for person B, I have the students stand on the steps for person B, and they walk the peace path together. So here you can see we start off with using iMessage and retelling what you heard, and it tells you for step one what they need to do. So person A is going to feel a certain way, saying, I feel sad when you tell me I can't be in your group. Those little silly things the kids always tell us. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So person A will pretend with that scenario, and person B will go ahead and do exactly what that prompt says. Once they get past the step, I'm going to have them walk on here, and person A follows their footsteps over here and person B over there. So when you see that, you can see step two. So they start suggesting a solution, and then I have the think it through sheets that they get to use. And on these think it through sheets, it has suggested solutions that they can use. So they're going to go ahead and share a little bit of that, your solution, and person B is going to listen and see if that solution is going to work out for them. After they finish with step two, the two people are going to go for step three. And step three, again, it's talking about solutions. Maybe person B has another solution. They're going to go ahead and give a second solution and discuss and see if that's going to solve their problem. And then they go into person A and B. They agree on a solution to try. They work together, they figure out their problem, and once they figure out a solution, they agree on a solution, they then exit in peace. So that is what I use. That is the peace path that they use in Antarctica. And for my third lesson, I go over and explain this with scenarios. So now that you saw the peace path and what exactly I go over it, I usually throw out different scenarios in that morning meeting or that class council meeting. I go ahead and I give them a scenario. I have two volunteers come up, walk the peace path. And then eventually by the end, what happens is they're able to walk that entire peace path with this scenario without me there walking them through it. The whole goal about having this peace path is little cases like, oh, I don't like it when you say I'm not your friend anymore. things like that that teachers should not have to solve or resolve. They get to do it on their own. They learned how to solve those problems on their own. So this way, if they are having that situation, they can come back here to Antarctica, solve that problem on their own. I'm also going to show you the Think It Through sheets, because they do use the Think It Through sheets in Antarctica when they are on the Peace Path. So here you'll see the Think It Through sheet envelopes that we talked about before, and I'm going to show you that now. Like I showed you in the setting up video, if you have not seen that, make sure you go and check that out first. You should have 2 envelopes in your Antarctica. So one for the new Think It Through sheets and one for the completed Think It Through sheets. What happens is the kids, when they go through Peace Path, they will need to grab a Think It Through sheet. And on this Think It Through sheet, you can see some conflict stoppers. So when they're together, they can fill out what is the problem, what is my iMessage that that I use to solve, to tell them that there's the problem, and then how does the other person feel? If you're doing the Peace Path, the other person is talking about their feelings, so you know how that person feels. And then what can I do differently to solve the problem? What I like about this sheet, if you notice, you can see all of the options on the side on how they can solve problems. So if there's one they have on their own that may not be there, they can use the new idea, and that new idea will help them with solving the problem. So this Think It Through sheet with the conflict stoppers should be in the Antarctica. I have them fill this out and put it in the completed Think It Through sheet section, because when they are finished, I get to see, I'll come over at the end of the day and get to see, or when no one's looking, and grab and see if they solve the problem and exactly what that problem is, because it might be something greater than what they think it is, and I might need to have other people involved, like a guidance counselor. So that is my Think It Through sheet that they get to use while they are walking the Peace Path. Now, after I share that Think It Through sheet and we go over the Peace Path, what I do is I have groups. I start working with, I have people work together. And when I have them work together in groups, I have them pull out of a basket their different conflicts. So I just make up little silly things, or things that 4th graders, they really do encounter at their age, and they pull one of those conflicts out. And their job is to walk the Peace Path together on their own without this big pink Peace Path. Just remembering those steps, walk it on their own and practice filling out a Think It Through sheet. So that day when we have that class council, by the time we're at the end of it, they all know how to fill out that Think It Through sheet. They all know how to walk the Peace Path. So that means that from that day forward, they can start using Antarctica in solving their own conflicts. They will no longer need an adult to help them solve conflicts, especially those tiny little ones that we all kind of want to brush off and brush away, because those aren't things that we should be worrying about throughout the day. So this is exactly what I do for my 3rd class council meeting. And if I need to, I will go ahead and go over the Peace Path again. If I notice the students, they're just not following it, they're not solving their problems, or those little tiny things come up again, I will make that class council meeting again. So this is something you keep in your back pocket, so that if this is continuing, you can pull this back up and have this as a class council meeting. So if you liked learning about the Peace Path, give this video a thumbs up, and definitely, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. And I want you to look for the 4th video to see what I do next after my class council video. Thank you for watching, and look for that 4th video. Bye.